Coming up on this week's episode, we're talking Liverpool, Manchester City and Leeds United, plus all our usual features, so let's get started. Hello and welcome to a new episode of View from the Sideline podcast. It's Chris here and Liam is here as always. Hello Liam.
Hi Chris, how you doing?
Yeah,
after
getting
the
better.
weekend? Yeah?
Well, you say weekend, Friday
yeah.
night football, it's just, I mean, if you lose that, luckily we didn't lose. I mean, the draw was a pretty pathetic game anyway, but I mean, if you lose on a Friday night, it kind of sets up the whole weekend. Well, you done it, but yeah, I mean, performance-wise better, but still, I mean, a lot of the new players played some part. I mean, some played a lot better than others, but yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going in the right direction. I have to say though, Badashile.
Yeah, it's a good signing for you.
Of all the people that we've brought in, he's the one for me that stood out so far. I mean, we've had 3 clean sheets in a row, which I can't remember the last time we had 3 clean sheets in a row. But you think he's still quite young. I mean, and he's next to Thiago Silva. So, I mean, he's obviously learning a lot from him. I don't know if you saw, but Thiago Silva looks like he's going to sign another year deal.
Yeah, he's going to be about 53 then, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's going to keep him there to the end of 2024. But, I mean, he's probably one of our most consistent players. So, and when he's playing, I feel so much more confident.
Yeah.
When we're being, when the other teams are on the attack. I mean, he reads the game, so he's probably one of the best in the Premier League at reading the game. But I suppose that comes with age and experience, doesn't it? So,
yeah. I mean, we certainly could have done with a Thiago Silva or Badiashile at the weekend because our defending was atrocious, absolutely awful. I mean, we actually played pretty well considering, although we lost. It was quite a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
But we were just, I don't know whether you've seen the goals that we conceded.
Yeah, I did.
They are schoolboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate. It's one of those. Kamara's probably been, I think he's been our best player so far this year, and he's made a horrendous mistake for one of their goals. But it's the way Emery wants to play out from the back. So he's sticking with it. But yeah, on another day, it could have been about 6-6, I think, with our game. So at least we're scoring goals. That's the main thing. We were struggling to score goals. Now we're not. Now we just can't keep them out for some reason. But yes, we'll move on to breaking news today, won't we? We've had to roll with the punches today.
Well, yeah.
We've completely changed our lineup.
This morning. We started by messaging saying Everton, Brentford, and Liverpool. And then about halfway through the day, it went from Everton, Manchester City, Liverpool, and then about 4 hours ago, we went Leeds, Manchester City, and Liverpool. So we've kind of been handed on a plate some talking points for today. So we'll go with the first one, and probably quite surprising, really, it's Leeds, so obviously not that surprised, but obviously they've sacked their manager, Jesse Marsh.
Yes.
The man that they said was there for the long term to build a squad, and
but they also called him Yank Lampard. So
so he's gone. I mean, performances haven't been great, but it just seems, we've had a few games since the World Cup, but it seems quite, all of a sudden out of nowhere, really. I mean, yes, they did lose at the weekend, but, I'm just quite shocked by it, if I'm honest.
They're not losing badly, I don't think. They're always in a game. It's not like they're being thrashed, 3-4-0 every week. And even if they do lose by the odd goal here or there, it's not through lack of effort, it's not through lack of attacking options. They're creating stuff going forward. It's just, I think, defensively is what let them down so far this season. But it is odd timing, he's just had a transfer window. It's only closed, this time last week, wasn't it? We were recording.
They didn't really sign, I know they haven't signed a huge amount of players, but I mean, they lost to Forest at the weekend, but they won both their FA Cup games recently. I know they played Accrington and Cardiff, but they beat Cardiff in the replay pretty convincingly. Drew with Brentford. I mean, they've always been known for scoring a lot of goals, but like you said, conceding a lot of goals at the same time. It wasn't too long ago that not that this is that high up this season, but they did beat Liverpool not too long ago. But I guess the board have, they've come to that decision that his time is up. So, like you said, they've got back-to-back games against Manchester United now. Which
it's a tough ask, the way they're playing this season. I can only assume that either someone has become available or the board think there's someone about to become available that they think they can bring in, because it just seems strange.
The names that are being floated around is Carlos Coburn, the West Brom coach. Thomas Tuchel's name seems to be lingering around as well.
I think that's too. Unless they offer him a huge package, I don't think Tuchel. And I've seen Pochettino been mentioned as well, but I can't.
Bielsa is also on this list apparently. Come back. So, I mean, if you go back to Bielsa, you've just done a full 180 really on the whole thing. I mean, he bought his own style for Leeds, didn't he? And he was he had one tactic and one tactic only, and I think it became very stale in the end. So I just don't see them going back to that. But yeah, like you said, something's triggered something here to say that there is either someone, a bit more experienced than him, but I don't really know what they're going to do, because
I think it's hard. I think Leeds fans will say he's not really taken us forward, and no, he hasn't. But he's not taken them backwards either. No. They're still scrapping for every game. They were still playing for him. I don't see personally who else is out there that's better. That is going to. I think. I mean. This time last week, I could have said Sean Dyche might have been a good shout, because he probably would have shored up the defence a little bit. You wouldn't have got as many goals, but if the problem is defending, he would have been a good candidate. I don't think Allardyce is going to come back into football now. I think he's had too long out. But, it's one of those, you're looking at one of those managers that's, their whole career has been built out of keeping people safe, getting people away from relegation, shoring them up. And I don't see Leeds doing that. That's not the Leeds way.
He kind of did that last season though, wasn't it? It was only really on the last day of the season that they stayed up. I mean, he kept them up, and that was the fundamental thing that, one of the reasons, I guess, why he was brought in. But, at the end of the day, it just seems like a very odd time to do it, when we've still got so many games left.
And just after a transfer window as well, from a manager's point of view, you're going to come in and know you've got to work with the players that you've got now until summer. Why, if they were going to do this, why did they not do this in December? I don't think it's got any worse since December. I don't think there's much difference. So
it hasn't got any better, but like you said, it's not got any worse. I mean, I know they're level on points with Everton at the moment. I mean, their goal difference is better than a few of the teams around them, and they've got a game in hand as well. So, with the game in hand, you're looking at going up to 14th potentially. I know the game in hand is against Man United, but so yeah, odd decision.
He's brought in some good players as well. I think the players this season that have stood out have generally been signings that he's made. Tyler Adams. I think has been one of their best players.
He brought in. Yeah, he's captain as well, isn't he now? So.
He is, and I think he's played really well, and he's obviously still quite young. He's been a decent replacement for Phillips. Obviously, it was a big loss for them. Marsh has been unlucky that Bamford has been injured for most of the time that he's been there, so that he's been without probably their best striker. And I think it's been so long now, he's going to maybe struggle to get back to fitness. I don't really know what's going to happen to Bamford in the leadership.
They did buy a striker in January, didn't they? Rutter.
They did. So I've not seen him yet. I don't know whether he's any good, but
he's young. He's 20.
He is young, yeah. So I just thought they could have given him a chance because it's not just Adams. Aronson looks good in parts. Last couple of weeks, that Nonto, McKennie, that's a great signing, I think. But yeah, like Nonto has done well over the last few weeks. So I don't think I think he's tried to build a young squad. It wasn't going to come together overnight. But I think if he could have kept them up, it's a project. I mean, Marsh seemed to be in it for the long run. Like you said, he wanted to build a long-term squad, and they've not really given him the chance to do that. And now they're stuck with a team of 20, 21-year-olds. And, no manager. It seems like a strange decision, but a lot of Leeds fans seem quite happy with it. So
I mean, you look back to the game at the weekend against Nottingham Forest. They were in that game.
Yep.
Even when they went behind, you look at the possession that they had, 70%.
Mm-hmm.
Shots on goal, 4. They only had 1 shot on goal, to be fair, but on target. But, they were miles and miles better than Forest on the day, but they just couldn't score. That was the problem. And, he's seen something with Bamford that, they probably should have brought someone else in the summer, really, another striker, but they didn't. I'm not sure really what happened there, but, I just think he needed time. I think he's brought in a few youngsters and in the summer and in January, and I don't really know what, but yeah, like you said, it seems to have gone down well with the Leeds fans, which is strange.
Yeah. They expect a lot, though, don't they, the Leeds fans? So maybe a big name will come in and surprise us all, and they'll go on to bigger and better things. Who knows?
Frank Lampard.
Right, I was thinking Steven Gerrard as well, maybe a potential candidate.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, there is a lot of managers out there, to be fair, but you're going to need someone to come in and literally pick you up off the feet and drag you through the rest of the season and try and keep you afloat. I mean, Dyche would have been the best candidate for that, but we missed out on him by a week. So
I think Everton they started the ball rolling, didn't they? I think Everton making that move to get rid of Lampard and bring someone new in has kind of panicked other clubs into doing the same. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if there was another couple of sackings this week. Nathan Jones is obviously under a lot of pressure at Southampton and gave the weirdest interview I've seen for a long time on Match of the Day. West Ham obviously still struggling, big club down there, but I still think Moyes is going to be all right to take them out of it. But it could be a few more teams that get rid of their manager in the next couple of weeks.
Right, let's talk Manchester City.
Yes.
Obviously the news come out today that they've been a little bit naughty. And it's not just that they've broken one rule in the rule book of financial fair play. It seems to be over 100 cases of bits and pieces that they've broken. I think it was between 2009 to 2017, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I've read through some of. I mean, to me, it's just waffle. To be honest with you,
a lot of it is legal terminology that I don't understand.
Yeah.
But what I do understand is they have been, like you say, a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
And I do understand the potential punishments. I don't know whether you've got the list of them.
I've seen them. Expulsion to me looks like quite nice, but that ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna expel them from the league, are they? No. I mean, they generate too much money. Yeah. Let's face it comes down to money. I mean, if they, unfortunately, this is just how I feel, but if they were a team struggling at the bottom, I think they'd be more inclined to expel them because they don't make them as much money.
Yeah.
I've seen points deduction, which I think is probably the most likely. That
and a big fine, I would have thought.
The thing is,
transfer bans, like Chelsea had a transfer ban, but obviously you only broke, was it 12 rules or 13 or something like that? And you had a transfer ban for a year, didn't you? And
did.
Man City were meant to be banned from Europe, weren't they? And then that got overturned, so maybe they'll reinstate a European football ban. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, or whether it's UEFA that can do that. But
I heard that the only reason last time that that they got away, they didn't get away with it, but the reason that they got reinstated into Champions League was the fact that it just took too much time to get all the evidence together or something, and by the time the evidence could have been read, it wouldn't have been. I'm not sure what it was, but I heard something on Sky Sports News earlier. But I mean, I think it will be. I just think it will be a fine, and they'll probably get a transfer ban for one season, maybe 2 seasons. I mean, the thing is, for fining them, that's all well and good, but they'll probably just hide it under financial fair play that they've been fined. They won't put that on their records, but I mean, if you fine them, it has to be a huge amount, surely.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to make a proper statement about it. But I think, the wider issue of teams spending this amount of money, and they're not the only ones that break the rules. Most teams, I imagine, do, but obviously
they just got caught.
They've just been caught doing it. But it's got to stop. Whatever you think the punishment to Man City should be, this kind of spending has got to stop, really, because it is getting out of hand. When, sorry to use Chelsea as an example, Chris, but 110 million for Enzo Fernandez is, they're obscene amounts of money, and obviously you're not breaking the rules. You're bending them slightly and spreading those payments through loopholes, but it's just. I don't know, there's something that's not quite right about it. And I know that you can never make a competition completely fair when there's money involved, but what chance does a team, I mean, Villa are quite well off, but even us, what chance have we got of competing against the likes of City and Man United and Liverpool and Chelsea when you're allowed to spend that amount of money and give players basically whatever wage they want? The whole point of financial fair play, I know it wasn't brought in to stop teams spending loads of money. It was brought in to sort of ensure that smaller teams didn't spend above themselves and go bust. But there's got to be a way to sort of have a middle ground, to have a cap on spending or something.
Because
rugby union do it, and teams get fined all the time and deducted points for not sticking to it. But I just think there's got to be a way to sort of fairly, not spread it out evenly, like the pay, but to sort of give other teams a chance to fairly target players and not get completely gazumped in the transfer windows, because it's just, it's making the rich teams richer, and it's making just that gap between the top 6 or the top 8 that little bit bigger, and I think it just makes it for a bit of boring football, really. I've read
any sanction on them with regard, if it was points, it wouldn't be done until next season anyway.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of time it's going to take to hear the evidence. It's got to go to like a panel now, but it's like a private panel, so you won't hear anything now until it's been made, the decision's been made. But I mean, I think the best case scenario for them is they get a fine. Middle case is they lose some points next season. They start on like -12 or something. And obviously the worst case for them is they get expelled. But I can't
see that happening. No, I can't see them going down the league.
But saying that, they need to set a standard here of, if you do break these rules, this is what's going to happen. To me, I think the points deduction thing is probably the fairest one. If it had been for 1 or 2 seasons that this had happened, but I mean for it to happen for 8 years, and I think falsifying your accounts, if not, is illegal anyway. I mean, from what I hear, that one of the things on there was that they had concealed how much they had actually paid a manager. I'm guessing it's Roberto Mancini, by the way. How much his weekly salary was. Apparently, it's on the accounts. It's one thing, but what he actually got paid was a different figure. It's obviously more than the one they put down, but it's quite messy.
Would you have them stripped of titles? Do you think we take that away, or is that just an empty gesture because they've got all the prize money for it now? So what does it matter?
They've got the money for it, and it's I think if you strip them, you can't exactly say, well, second place has won the league, because that doesn't make sense to me.
It's always going to be a title with an asterisk by it, isn't it? Man City actually did win the league this year, but got taken. It got taken off them. So
I don't think there's any need for that. I think honestly, in my opinion, I think they'll get a hefty fine, and they'll probably be banned from a transfer for maybe 3 transfers a windows, maybe 4. I don't know, but apparently they can't appeal it. I've read that they're not allowed to appeal. So.
No, because it's an independent panel, isn't it? So I think whatever they come to, but if they do get fined, and I'm assuming that come what may, I'm assuming they will. I think that's the bare minimum that they can expect to get. But I'd just like them to make sure. It strikes me that Bury are not far away from Manchester City, and they've a team that have been in the Football League for hundreds of years and went bust. It would be nice to see that money go towards keeping clubs like that alive.
Yeah.
I know the FA can't bail out every club, but it would be nice for that money to go down to the Football League rather than sat in the FA chairman's pocket, or I don't know whatever they do with the fines that come their way, which obviously they get quite a lot, but it would be nice to just see it invested in grassroots, non-league, and sort of lower league sides to sort of keep them in business. So I do hope they get a hefty fine, but I hope it's used well in lower league football. It would be nice to see.
Right. So we'll probably have more on that, I guess, in the coming weeks, maybe.
I think that's going to go on for a few years. I think we're going to be talking about the punishment for a long time.
So we'll talk about, speaking of punishment, let's talk about Liverpool.
It is a punishment for Liverpool fans at the moment, isn't it?
I can't say much because Chelsea are literally just above them. I mean, Liverpool are game in hand, they go above us, but I mean, something is going fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, what's happened?
There isn't, and that.
Yeah, it's not the Liverpool that we got used to watching a couple of years ago.
No.
And I've been trying all weekend to put my finger on it because I thought we were going to talk about them after, let's face it, quite an abject performance this weekend. And it's the same squad, really, essentially, other than a couple of players. Obviously, Mane was a big loss, but it's pretty much the same squad that won that league. And the players that shone when they were winning everything, and they were, as they always like to say, 3 goals away from a treble. But the players that were impressing in that season just seem to have lost it. I mean, Van Dijk's injured. I can't lump him in. But a lot's been made about Alexander-Arnold's form, and I think he has been a huge loss. I saw the 3rd goal at the weekend, and they sort of placed the blame on, I think it was Matip, and I can't remember who. Match the Day did an analysis, but I just noticed that there was 3 people in defence for Liverpool, and on the replay, Trent Alexander-Arnold was in the opposition half when the ball went in, and I'm always quite quick to defend him because I do quite like him, especially in an attacking situation. I do think he should be in the England setup, but I can't defend that. There's just no way. So he's obviously lacking confidence. He's still young, so he's still got time to bring it back. But I think personally, the player that they miss, other than Mane, is Wijnaldum. I think they let him go for free. He's not really done that much since leaving, but they haven't got a midfielder now that's sort of box to box. I don't think Henderson's got the energy for it. Thiago, he's not
He hasn't
really a
got the energy
danger.
for it
He's not a danger in either box, is he? But I remember watching Wijnaldum, especially at Newcastle as well. He would be throwing his body on the line in his own penalty area, but he was always a danger going forward. I think it will come maybe with Harvey Elliott. I think he's great going forward at the moment. He needs to work a little bit on his defensive game, but again, he's 20 or 21, so that will come. But I think that's what they're missing. I just think they look a bit slow through the build-up, which for a team with so much pace is a bit strange to say. But they're just lacking something in the middle. They want to try and attack quickly, but they've got no one in that pivot to sort of pick up the ball, run 20 yards, and then make that pass anymore. I don't know. That's what I've noticed at the moment. Obviously, other than the clear defensive frailties that they've got, especially without Van Dijk at the moment. But I think we've got them soon, so I can't say too much. I imagine they're going to turn up against us, but yeah, it's a strange one, and I don't know. Are you Klopp in or Klopp out at the moment?
I'll be honest, I don't think that they'd sack him. I think it would take him to leave for that to happen. I just can't see them I can't see them sacking him. I think it would take him to say, look, enough's enough. I've gone this far. We're not getting any further. I find it really strange that they didn't sign another midfielder in the summer and in January. I think they were crying out for a midfielder in the summer, and they brought in that was it Melo? I don't think
he's hardly played.
I think he's been playing for the reserve team. So it just, to me, it looks like they needed to sign someone. I mean, they've been linked with Jude Bellingham for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you put up the money for him, he would go to Liverpool, and I think Dortmund would sell him. Cody Gakpo, a lot, I think, was riding on him when he came in January. He hasn't scored. He hasn't assisted any either. But the main thing I think that this might be contributing to is the fact that they've not got Mane.
Mm-hmm.
I think selling him, was a huge risk, because at the time they brought Núñez in, but he hasn't really, he's not what Mane is, what Mane scored last season. Núñez hasn't, reciprocated what Mane was doing. So you're left with a massive hole there. And for what they sold him for, I think it was more of a case that he wanted to leave. He wanted to do something different. That's fine, but fight to keep him there. And, Salah hasn't really been on it at all for the last, since really the start of the season. He's not really been the same, has he? So
no, he's still scoring here and there, but he's not the prolific Salah that he was that last season or the season before, certainly. But the interesting thing, I think, Firmino was a really important player when they were playing well, and he's played a sort of bit part this year. I don't think he'd have actually played as much if Hotter had stayed fit. I think his injury has given Firmino a few more games, but I don't know, he's obviously been there a long time, Firmino, now, to sort of drop him. He didn't lose form particularly. He was never their number one goal scorer, but he offered so much in just distracting defenders, providing that pass before the assist. He was just a constant nuisance, always moving, always running, and he always worked really hard. And when he doesn't play, I just think they're a different side. They just don't look as... They've always played that high press under Klopp, haven't they? And I think he's been the instigator of it. They've lost that pace, I think, with Mane playing that high press, because he was so quick and on it, and he's caught Villa out no end of times when we've played against them, just because of his sheer pace in closing down. But Firmino's always there with him, and now I don't think they have that I think they miss him and being on form, and I can't blame him, because I don't really think there was a reason he was dropped other than the fact he wasn't scoring, but he was still playing well. So I don't really understand that myself. But
he's always been the case for Firmino, though, hasn't it? When he was playing through the middle, Salah and Mane were scoring the goals. He was just there to be a nuisance, but he would clear up on the goals that Mane and Salah didn't score.
Mm-hmm.
He was always in the box ready for, deflections or, just to tap it in. So it's just very, very strange how, especially like losing 3-0 to Wolves is not great. I mean, and they've got Everton next.
It's a big game, that one, isn't it? I mean, it's always a big game between them two.
And then they've got Newcastle away, and then they've got Real Madrid. So, they've got some tough games coming up. And I think Chelsea and Liverpool are out of the race for top 4. So it could be very close towards the end of the season on who's going to pick up the rest of the European games, like European positions.
I think what they've got to do now, obviously they've had a poor start to the season. I think they know it's a transitional period. I think Klopp knows it's a transitional period. He's been given that, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm going to get it totally wrong, Bajcetic, I think. They've been giving him more game time. He's looked quite good. They've been giving Elliott more game time, and I think he'll be a class player, I think, in a couple of years' time. Carvalho as well, when he's fit and he's played, he's looked quite dangerous. So I think now, if Klopp stays, he's now going to work on the next phase, but he's got quite a good bunch of youngsters there to do that. So if they do keep him, and it is what he's built, let's be honest, he's got that credit in the bank. They've got a good next batch, I think, of players coming through to hopefully get them back up. Well, hopefully from their part to get them back up the table.
Okay, so that was this week's Talking Points, and we will be back in part 2 with some Wonders of White, a quiz, and a Who Am I? Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this week's podcast. We are going to go in for some Wonders of White. This one, probably one of the best we've had for a while. So Manchester City have lost all 5 of their matches against Spurs at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, failing to score a single goal despite having 84 shot attempts.
Oh. Well, Haaland didn't have a good game either, did he?
He didn't start, did
Saturday, was it Sunday? Sunday, yeah. No, awful for my fantasy league.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
Nottingham Forest have scored the opening goal in 9 of their 11 Premier League home games this season. That's more than any other team.
Yeah, including against us, they did it as well. They've looked good the last few weeks, to be fair to them.
They didn't do it against us. I just want you to know that we are one of the 2 teams that they haven't done against. Manchester United have won their last 13 home games in all competitions. That's their longest run since December 2010.
Wow. Been a long time. Been a long time coming.
King Eric. And last but not least, a Sean Dyche related one here. Sean Dyche is just the second manager to beat an opponent starting the day top in his first Premier League game in charge of a club. The first person to do it was Alan Kirbishley at West Ham when they beat Manchester United in 2006.
God, I would never have got that in a million years.
He joins an illustrious club.
Yeah.
Mr. Kirbishley.
Yeah, what a start for Everton. I know we were going to talk about them, but yeah.
See how they get on next week. Maybe they get back on next week. Right, quiz time.
Quiz time, yes. So I've gone back to a format that we were using a couple of months ago, I think, before the World Cup.
Yeah.
So it's a maths quiz,
Goodness me.
There's a chance for some bonus points along the way. So we've we saw a certain someone break the Spurs goal scoring record this weekend. We all know that, Harry Kane. So I thought we'd do goal scorers this week. So I'm going to give you the name of 3 Premier League goal scorers. They're all in the top 200 of Premier League. You can ask for the number of goals for one goal scorer. And you have to add up the total of all 3 goal scorers.
Mm-hmm.
If you get within 30 points either way, or 30 goals, I should say, either way, I'll give you the point. But there is a link. So the last player for each question also played for the club in the next question. And you have to see if you can guess what club the next one is going to be. So I'm going to start you off because there's no clue for this one. They're all Southampton players.
Okay.
So the next question will be a different team, and you have to guess what team that is based on the last player that I say. So your 3 players for Southampton are Matt Letizia, James Beattie, and Sadio Mane. So you can ask for the number of goals scored by one of them.
I will take Matt Letizia.
So Matt Letizia scored a nice round 100 Premier League goals.
That helps. Okay, so I'm going to say 200.
I say 200. You are 102 off.
Blimey.
302 goals.
James Beattie must have scored a lot more.
James Beattie got 91 Premier League goals. And Sadio Mane got 111 Premier League goals. So, no points for the number, but what team do you think the next set of players are going to be from? With Sadio Mane being the last player.
Well, Liverpool.
Correct. Nice easy one to start with. So you got 1 point out of that first question. So the next 3 are Liverpool players. We've got Roberto Firmino, Michael Owen, and Patrick Berger. So take your pick. Who do you want to reveal the amount of goals he scored?
I'm going to go for Michael Owen.
Michael Owen has scored 150 Premier League goals.
150, okay.
Correct.
I mean, Patrick Berger, he played for a few Premier League clubs, didn't he? I'm surprised he's in the top 200, actually. Must be low down on that list.
Yeah, only just. He made it in by, I think he's level on goals with number 200. Okay. So he's literally only in there by 1 goal.
Okay. 150. I am going to say 280.
You are only 14 away, so you get the point for that one. So you're on 2. So it was 266 goals. Roberto Firmino 78, Michael Owen 150, and Patrick Berger on 38. So for the bonus point,
Villa.
You're going with Aston Villa, correct? Yes, yeah. Well done. Yeah, it could have been a few teams. He played for Portsmouth as well, but you are correct. Aston Villa. Question number 3. Your 3 strikers are Dion Dublin.
You were going to say Dublin. I just had that in my head straight away.
It's my favourite ever Villa player. Dion Dublin, Gabriel Agbonlahor, and Dwight York. So pick a player to reveal.
Quite high, I think. I'll go for Gabriel Agbonlahor. He's your top scorer for Villa.
He is,
and he only ever played for Villa.
Yes.
So that means, I think.
So Dublin did score for some other teams.
Yeah,
in the Premier League.
Can I go for Dwight York?
You can. Dwight York scored 123 goals in the Premier League.
Okay. So I reckon that we are looking around about 310.
So close, Chris. 308 goals.
Oh my God,
between
2 goals away.
You were only 2 goals away. What, out of interest, what did you have for each player.
Well, I think I got Dwight York ones right. I said Dwight York 123. Yeah. I went with Dion Dublin for 103 or 104, not even too sure. And Gabby Oblongo probably around about 70. 60,
so you're not far away. So Dion Dublin, 111 goals in the Premier League, and Ogbonhor 74. So
yeah, I knew he was your top scorer. I thought he was around about 70.
So for the easy bonus point, Dwight York was the last one.
Well, it'd be Man United.
Manchester United, indeed, for question number 4. So your 3 ex-Man United players, ex and current actually, Andy Cole, Bruno Fernandes, and Eric Cantona.
Okay, can I go for... I think I roughly know Fernandes because I'm pretty sure he hit a milestone not too long ago. How many was Andy Cole? He's high hundreds, isn't he? I'll go with Andy Cole.
You want me to reveal Andy Cole?
Yeah.
Andy Cole has scored 187 Premier League goals.
Okay. So I think Fernandes is...
I can hear the cogs.
Yeah, the cogs are turning. I'm just sort of... So it was Andy Cole, Fernandes, and who was the last one, sorry?
Eric Cantona.
I think this is a trick one with Cantona. I am going to say... I'm going to go roughly to what I did last time. I'm going to go 310.
You are within 30 again. Congratulations. 298. So, 298 goals between them. So
I went with about 60 on both of the other ones.
Well, Andy Cole, 187, as we know. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes is on 41.
Oh, 41. I thought
Yeah.
Okay. So that means Cantona must have had quite a few then.
Eric Cantona is on 70. Which is 4 less than Gabby Ogbonhor. Just want to put it out there. Man United fans, he's not that good. Eric Cantona. I don't know why you like him. So Eric Cantona was the last one. What club are we going to next for the bonus point?
Leeds.
Correct. We are indeed. We're going to Leeds. Your 3, they're all former Leeds players, are Harry Kewell, Mark Viduka.
I knew Viduka. He has to be in there.
I mean, they really didn't have many on the list. Harry Kewell, Mark Viduka, and Darren Huckabee. I was really scraping the barrel.
Yeah, but Huckabee's he's Norwich Coventry. He was around for a long time. I'm going to go with Huckabee, actually.
You want me to reveal Darren Huckabee? Yeah. He scored 38 Premier League goals.
How was he in the top? Come on.
He's got the same amount as Patrick Berger. So
I think Viduka was probably... Viduka's... I remember him scoring 4 goals in one game once. I go for roughly about that for him, which brings up to Harry Kewell, Liverpool, Leeds. I don't think he was ever that. I'm going to go 100 and... I was going to go 150.
Oh, you're just outside.
Damn.
Of the 30. It was 187. 187, so you're 37 short. So Harry Kewell got 57. Mark Viduka got 92 Premier League goals, which is pretty good. And then Darren Huckabee, 38. But you can claw it back with a bonus point. And you listed a few of his ex-clubs there, but which club am I going to next for an added bonus?
Oh. It's difficult because they've all been Premier League teams that you've given me so far.
They're all current Premier League teams. That's not a spoiler.
Hang on.
Cast your mind back to the 90s.
Think about this now. Oh, I'm not going to get this one, I don't think. I am just going to guess at... To be fair, I can't even remember him playing for Leeds, so...
I don't think he was there very long.
Oh, Leicester.
Incorrect. It is, in fact, Manchester City.
Let's see. Oh, bugger.
Yeah, Manchester City. Again, I don't think he was there. I don't think he played for many clubs for very long. I think he was only there for a couple of years. But yes, so your next set, question number 6, Manchester City. Your 3 strikers are Emmanuel Adebayor, Sergio Aguero, and Carlos Tevez.
I'll go Aguero.
Aguero scored 184 Premier League goals.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be a high one. I am going to go with 330.
Oh, you're just outside again.
Again?
You're just low again as well. It's 365. You've missed out by 5. Another 5 more would have done it. So Adebayor got 97 Premier League goals. I think he's still playing somewhere. Sergio Aguero, as we said, 184 Premier League goals. And Carlos Tevez, 100 less than Aguero with 84.
Okay.
So 365 in total. Your last striker was Carlos Tevez. So for the bonus point,
West Ham.
we are going to West Ham indeed. Question number 7.
We've done the other clubs he played for.
We have done the other clubs, yes. Yeah, that's why I left him so late, because it could have had a choice of a few. So question number 7, all West Ham players. Your 3 strikers are Freddie Canute, Paolo Di Canio, and Jermaine Defoe.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the high one. I'm going to go with Defoe.
Defoe scored 162 Premier League goals.
Damn.
Yes,
okay.
Which is more than Michael Owen, more than Dwight York. In fact, it's more than pretty much everyone on this quiz so far, apart from Aguero and Cole.
So, how much did you say it was?
162.
Okay. Okay, so I'll go... This is quite a tricky one, actually.
It is quite a difficult one.
Because Canute, he played for a couple clubs as well. He was another one that followed Harry Redknapp around, didn't he? So, I think I'm going to be out on this one, but I'm going to say 255.
You are within 30. Congratulations. 271. So Canute got 43, Di Canio got 66, and Jermaine Defoe, as we said, 162. So that puts you on 9 points.
Yeah.
For the bonus, to make it a 10, where are we going next? Jermaine Defoe was the last one, so
it's Tottenham.
Yeah, correct. It is Tottenham.
I mean,
I was going to say it could be a lot of different clubs because he's played for a few, but yeah, mostly Spurs. Let's be honest. So your 3 Spurs players are Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, and Gustavo Poyet. No prizes. Well, actually, you will get a point for guessing the next team, but
I'll go with Poyet.
You want to go with Poyet?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't know that, Chris. I'm surprised you don't know all.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Giving away the next set of answers. Poyet scored 54 Premier League goals.
It's actually more than I thought. Okay. So 350.
You're 1 away.
Oh my god.
351.
Well,
so Harry Kane on 200. 200.
Yeah, because I kind of know. Yeah, I kind of know.
Yeah.
I kind of knew his, and I knew Poyet, so it was just trying to work out Son.
So Son Heung-min scored 97 Premier League goals, and Poyet with 54. So correct, within a point as well. And the next team, Chelsea. Yeah. So your 3 Chelsea players. If you don't get this spot on, I'll be very disappointed.
Hang on. Go on.
Your 3 Chelsea players: Frank Lampard, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, and Olivier Giroud.
That's really weird because I thought you were going to say Hasselbank, which is crazy. Okay, well, Lampard, yeah.
Lampard, I'm sure you know Lampard.
Okay. go with Hasselbank.
Hasselbank scored 127 Premier League goals.
He was so good when he was at Chelsea.
He was good. But he scored pretty much for everyone, didn't he? He played for Leeds and Middlesbrough, and yeah.
Okay, how many did you say it was? 120?
127 for Hasselbank.
This might be the biggest one yet, you know. I'm going to go with 370.
You're just within. Well done. 394 between those three. Not bad going, is it? So yeah,
Giroud was pretty good for us, to be fair.
Yeah, you're 24 short. So Lampard got, how many goals did Lampard score, Chris? Do you know?
Hey, 160 something.
177.
That was close.
Yeah, 177 for a midfielder. I mean, that is incredible. 177 for Lampard, 127 for Hasselbank, and Giroud got 90. Easy bonus point time. Where are we going next? For the last question.
Who's the last one?
Giroud.
Oh, Arsenal.
Correct. Arsenal are the last team. Your three strikers, well, no, not strikers actually, all of them. Your three players are Thierry Henry, Nicolas Anelka, and Mikel Arteta.
The fact that you didn't put Danny Welbeck in there.
No, sorry. No Danny Welbeck in there. He was in the list actually, but no.
Okay, right. So, this one again could be pretty high. I'll go with Anelka.
Nicola Anelka scored 125 Premier League goals.
Okay, I'm just gonna go. I'm not too sure on this one. I'll just go 300.
You're just short again. 341. So you basically worked out Henry and Anelka's combined total, because that is 300. Mikel Arteta scored 41.
He don't count.
Yeah, so 175 for Henry, 125 for Anelka, and 41 for Mikel Arteta. So you were just out on that one, and there's no more questions, but you can feel free to name another team that he played for. Congratulations, there's another bonus point for you. I'll give you 15 points out of that, which is not bad. 15 out of 20 is pretty good going.
That's alright, I'll take that.
Yeah, so well done.
Thank you, pat on the back. That was quite good, I like that. Okay, so we're going to end on the Who Am I?
Yes.
So it's a short one, but I can give you all the clubs.
Okay.
For reasons that he does no longer play football.
Cool.
So, now, it might give it away a bit, but we'll see. So, he started at Sporting.
Yep.
He then moved to Barcelona.
Right.
He then moved to Real Madrid.
Oh, God.
And ended at Inter Milan.
Oh. I mean, there's not many players that move Barcelona to Real Madrid. There's one that springs to mind, but I don't know whether he played for Sporting or Inter Milan. I certainly can't remember him playing for Inter Milan. But he is Portuguese. So it would make sense to start his career at Sporting.
I can give you clues.
I'll take a clue.
Okay, a clue is he was at Sporting longer than any other club.
Oh, so it's maybe not who I thought it was. Because I thought it was Figo. But now, I genuinely have no idea. That's really put me off then. Because Figo would have been at Barcelona for years, wouldn't he? And he was at Real Madrid for quite a while.
He spent 6 years at Sporting.
6 years? Wow. Would he have spent 6 years at Barca or Madrid?
I can tell you.
Ended his career at Inter Milan?
I can tell you. He spent 5 years at Barcelona.
Oh, so it's close. That's probably about right. I'll go with it. I'll go with Luis Figo.
I tried to take you off the scent so hard there. Yeah, it's Luis Figo.
He played for Inter Milan, did he?
He did, yeah.
He completely disappeared from my mind.
Played 4 seasons at Inter Milan.
4
played
years.
105 games and scored 9 goals. But he also, so although he was at Sporting for 6 years, it was from 1989 to 1995. He actually played 8 more games for Barcelona than what he did for Real Madrid, but he scored more at Real Madrid. He was there for 5 seasons each. So he left Barcelona in 2000 and left Real Madrid in 2005.
Yeah, I was going to say there aren't many people that make that switch, Barcelona to Madrid, or the other way around, to be honest. But he was the one that sort of stuck out, and I was desperately trying to think of someone else, but I couldn't. I was pretty convinced. I was like, no, Figo definitely wouldn't have played for Inter Milan. I would have remembered that.
We have spoken about him before, because he moved from Barcelona to Real Madrid, which obviously is pretty unheard of. And he got things thrown at him when they played each other.
Yes, he did. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I was completely wiped. He played 140 games in total for Inter Milan, and it's completely wiped from my memory. Yeah.
I mean, he's won a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much won everything he needs to have won, apart from sort of the world. He won the Ballon d'Or in 2000. And he's the second highest assister in La Liga history behind Messi with 106.
God.
What else can I tell you about Luis Figo?
He made the Golden Foot 2011 as football legend, and he made the FIFA 100. Apparently, this is according to Wikipedia. He's also Officer of the Order of Prince Henry and Knight of the Order of the Immaculate Conception of Villa Vicosa. I'm assuming that's some kind of Portuguese honour.
Fluent in Portuguese, Spanish, English, Italian and French, and apparently Swedish, because his wife is Swedish.
Well, there you go.
And he owns a company called Network 90, which is a private members networking site for professional football industry. His honours are just ridiculous. He's won La Liga 4 times. He's won the Copa del Rey twice. He won the UEFA Cup once. He's won the Super Cup twice. He's won the Champions League. He won the Intercontinental Cup.
That classic tournament, yeah.
He out of the 4 seasons he was in Serie A, he won the league every single year.
God.
So yeah, I mean,
yeah, can't win much more than that.
His individual ones are just as mad as well. FIFA World Player of the Year, UEFA Team of the Year, Champions League Top Assister, FIFA World Cup All-Star Team in 2006, part of the FIFA 100 Club. Mad.
Yeah, quality player. Hated playing against him though, because he always played well against England, didn't he? For that Portuguese team that always seemed to beat us in the quarterfinals of every tournament. But yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
No, not me this week.
Cool. So we'll be back next week.